No one can deny that Black America, there is truly a need in our race. As I look back in retrospect, allow my mind to take a stroll back down memory's lane. There was a time when we as a race had a thriving economy. Yes, we were rewarded with integration. We got what we fought for, we got what we marched for. But with the birth of integration, there also came the loss of not only the black community's economy, but there also came the loss of the black man's soul. Why is your soul, black man? As I look in your house, there are no fathers in the home no more. Where is your soul? 70% of our households are led by our precious, proud, fine black women. But as proud, beautiful, and fine as our black women are, one thing a black woman cannot do. A black woman cannot raise a black boy to be a man. If you choose to ask me today, do Black Lives Matter?
Hey, call Allah Yahweh I was shy by Shema Kakadash. Hey, Davanda said, Apostle Elders, Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to you, sincere Akim out there pushing the truth across the four corners of the earth. Hey, now this is from Aretha Franklin's memorial service or whatever, which that was a show, but that particular comment that he just made and the rest of his comments, they were all surrounded in controversy. Hey, but everything he said, well, for the most part, what he said was correct. And of course, as you know, I'm gonna say it about the Israelites, but for the most part, it does apply to the so-called black men in America, so-called, which we know in the Bible is to be the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. But then it also applies for the other tribes as well. To this day, you know, our people talk about going to war, arming up, all of this stuff. But to this day, we have no nation to grasp onto. We have no nation, like you said. Once we got integration, we lost our economy, we lost a lot of power, lost a lot of resources that we had, and now we're completely dependent on Esau's economy, which is part of the curses anyway. But it did, in a sense, do that. It destroyed the community. And even if you look at all the tribes, you look at Native American people, you look at so-called Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, yeah, they have a place to go to, but their countries really have no power anyway. You know, Mexico really doesn't have a lot of power. These different Caribbean places, they really have no power. The so-called Latin tribes, they really have no power in the grand scheme of things. You know, the Native Americans, they can get together, they own some land, but they have no power to, they don't have any power on that land, is what I'm trying to say. That land is heavily policed by Esau, and as well as the black community too is heavily policed by Esau. And so you can't, you can never rise up and destroy this man physically, especially if you don't have an actual country, you don't have actual, military to guard everything. You don't have your own political structure, your own politics. Now, right now you have internal politics, but it's not suited to handle all of the shit that's going on nationwide. You know what I'm saying? There's no central government, no central leaders, no central authority What you have right now is a lot of people on YouTube who have emulated what the prophets and the apostles have been doing. Um, YouTube is one of the largest communities right now. That's where people go to gather. They come on the comment boards. That's why it's important to keep putting up information, keep putting out scriptures. Because even in these cities that brothers are in, you'll have a certain number of brothers, but for the most part, it'll be millions of black people in the same place who don't want to listen. They don't even want to have a conversation. They don't want to research anything. They don't want to check anything, and it's crazy. And just to jump into the scriptures, come real quick. This is Mark 6:4. But Yahushua said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, but in his own house, but in his own country and among his own kin and in his own house. There you go. Prophets are not without honor. But he was saying, but except in their own country, among your own kin, among your own house. And that's true. My brothers have family, you got your kinfolk, and then you got, of course, your people. And even amongst our people, they talk about nationalizing, coming together. But shit, at the end of the day, man, only people who are for brothers who call themselves the Israelites or the people who walk under the same doctrine as them. And that's something you have to remember, because all these we always watch these little Black America videos, or maybe the Native American people will come on, or like I said, Latin America, they'll come on and they'll talk about certain things, and you might watch and you might agree with certain things they're saying. But at the end of the day, man, the Lord is not dealing with Black, he's not dealing with Latino, he's not dealing with that. He's not dealing with any of these so-called bywords created by Esau. He's dealing with the house of Israel. And the things that come in the end of times are going to be for people who see themselves with the house of Israel. Everything is only for Israel, the Israelites. We always quote Romans 9. The covenants, the glory, the kingdom, all of that is only for Israel. So that's because without that, man, you really have no. You might have a couple of people, but you really have no reference point to how you can be successful. You have no guidelines for how you can be successful. You have no nationalists for how you can be successful. None of them have created any publications that explain how to get out of this slavery that we're in. None of these so-called famous heroes or any of these Black, Native American, Latino people. Some of them might have been so-called great, but none of them have created any guidelines. They've never created any, like I said, publications or anything to show you how to defeat this man. Now, they might have showed you some things on certain history, certain techniques that they're using. We do utilize books, but ultimately, at the end of the day, the only book that matters is the Bible. That's it. And the things of prophecy according to the Bible. And because without prophecy, without those things, what do we really have? We're just going to be, continuing on with the wind, hoping for change. And on a carnal level, if we were to do that, our people would be destroyed along with this place, because this place is serpent in the drain right now. You got countries rising up against us. Countries can come here, they can make money off of you. These different tribes. The tribes, of course, they built this place, and these other people come here. They steal from us. They take us out. They go back to their own country, where they have their own central government, and they're in a sense safe, and they can live there the rest of their life and function and do all that. Meanwhile, we're here in this place, and you're kind of stuck here. You got to go along with the flow. So there has to be at some point a change, something that shifts the tide, man, because it's a huge wave that's against us, man. It's a huge one. Everybody in this society is a worker. That's pretty much, if you're not at the top, you're a worker. You got to work a job, you got to report to a boss, you got to pay taxes, you got to do all that. We're subject to payments. And shit, at the rate it's looking now, you know, the people retiring now, they're retiring at 60. Then the age is kind of going up to 65. Man, who the fuck wants to work until they're 65? And then you got artificial food. Man, this shit, it has to go. It has to be destroyed. It just has to. This is 1 Corinthians 1:21. Matter of fact, 1:20. It says, "Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not the Most High made foolish the wisdom of this world?" Yeah, the Most High has made foolish. People, brothers go out, we read out of the Bible, we read words that the Most High told us to tell people, words of wisdom, and people just walk by like it ain't shit going on. Here it is, you have some of the most important information you could ever, well, actually, the most important information you could ever have, and people just walk by like it doesn't mean shit. Like we're just, you know, some imbeciles on the corner who just know a couple of facts and a couple of scriptures. No, this is something ordained by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And Esau has read the scriptures. They know the scriptures talk about going out in the highways and byways, just like the Lord did in the his 12 disciples, as well as, or I say 12 apostles, as well as all of the other prophets who were with them as well. They went out on the highways and byways. They were, in a sense, you could say, street preachers. So if you're preaching the gospel, you're supposed to follow after that example. And that's not, you know, this preacher, he made some good points, but none of these preachers in here, which they had fucking Bill Clinton, the devil, sitting in one of these seats at the front, because that's the black church once again. When the white man comes along, he's treated with the fucking, you know, he's anointed and put up in a high place. Hey, because you people are destroyed. Okay, and this is the number one. The black church has been the number one political power, number one social power, one of the top buying powers in so-called Black America, or any amongst the tribes. Their church too, the Latin church, or the so-called Native American, or the Christian church. I'll say the Christian church, because it all varies sometimes. The Christian church in any of the tribes community, the church has been, you know, the church's own property. They get a certain amount of money. It's had the top power in all of these communities, and it hasn't done anything. It hasn't had any long-term goals except to make the preacher rich, to get him a rich-ass suit. You know, maybe he'll invest in making the church look better, getting a better band, that kind of stuff. With nobody said anything about that. We go out, we preach the truth out of the Bible, and it's a million fucking scoffers in the comments, because this is foolish what we're doing. Verse 21, "For after that, in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. It pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe." So there you go. "For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. But we preach Yahushua crucified, unto the Jews a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness." We preach it that a black man was crucified by the Roman Empire, who was the king of our people, king of Israel. Because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than men, and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than men. There you go. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and the Most High have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. There you go. So we are the men who are chosen up to be fools for the Most High's sake, to go out and be a spectacle amongst men, and that's one of the things that's a requirement of the Lord. These men are not considered fool. They're considered, right? These men are considered nobility in the so-called community of Black, Native American, and Latino people. You know, they got a 10-hour special for a eulogy, so you know they have money. And with that being said, man, all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Hey, it's a blessing to know and understand the truth given by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Just like the scriptures say, he's dealing with fools. Now, of course, we're not fools, but he's dealing with men who are considered foolish by this world. And that's something you definitely have to remember. And we're going to continue to push on. All praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Shalom.